Hi, this video is a brief introduction to the mystery behind the Conyers Falchion. What is the Conyers Falchion? Legend has it that this is the sword with which Sir John Conyers slew the terrible Sockburn Worm, or dragon. The legend lives on in Lewis Carroll's poem Jabberwocky. The sword is a 13th century falchion with the arms of the Holy Roman Empire on one side of its pommel and the arms of England on the other. It is speculated that it belonged to Richard, Earl of Cornwall, who was Henry III's younger brother and became King of Germany and King of the Romans from 1257 to 1272. The falchion symbolises Durham's commitment to its faith. It is presented to a new Bishop of Durham when he first crosses the Tees from the south into his new diocese. A replica is now used in this ceremony. It is located within the Great Kitchen, one of only two surviving medieval monastic kitchens of this type in England. It's in the open treasure collection at Durham Cathedral. Welcome. Pull up a chair beside the fire and listen to the legendary tale of the Sockburn Worm. The legend of the worm is believed to date back to the Norman conquest and has been described as a huge man-eating dragon with poisonous breath, more commonly described as a worm, wyvern or flying serpent. The ferocious wyvern laid waste to the village of Sockburn in County Durham. It was said that the beast was finally slain by John Conyers with his falchion or sword. The tale is also said to be the inspiration for Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky, which he wrote while in Croft-on-Tees and Whitburn. Evil and darkest cruelty coursed through its serpentine veins, the great crashing jaws at the end of its neck, a black dragon from the dark side of the moon. So the fertile lands of the Tees fell barren, and a famine and sadness descended. The doom-laden people endured its ravages, sickening scent of its deadly poison. The hunger spread its hate. John Conyers, with a sad heart, pitiful sufferings of his people, raising the ash-handled falchion, resolute in full armour, lone night's vigil done, in the chapel of All Saints, summoned his bloodhound, strode to the fields, sure of sword and his trust in the Lord. The Sockburn Worm from a river that turned, from Viking gods to wyverns of old. As the sun climbed the ferocious sky, the hateful worm sought sanctuary, awoken in its blackened lair by a glint of light from the war sword's blade. Slashed and torn, the worm foresaw its doom, but on it fought with slashing claws. The ring of steel rang louder than bone, separating head from leathery neck. Black blood ran down the bright blade into the waters of the Tees. The head of the worm, laid like a boulder, rolled form the mound of its corpse. Then, hearing the silence after the battle's din, they ran from their homes to look on the beck of blood, and they laughed and they sang and they danced around the tomb marked by the grey stone. Around the tomb marked by the grey stone, where Sockburn's fair ancestress hall stands by the woodland Tees, its infertile vale surrounded by its tall majestic trees. There, as oft old legends say, 1,000 years ago, a creature of immeasurable length did fill the land with woe. Each morning from the silvery stream it crawled in angry mood, until a maiden went to it with 9 cows' milk for food. But if neglect or chance occurred to cause the maid delay, in anger fierce it did devour all that came its way. The warrior went when flooded Tees swept o'er its borders green, and stood encased in armour strong, set round with razors keen. And when the monster up the stream went for its morning meal, he on its head a heavy blow with his good sword did deal. Against him then it furious rushed and twined him closely round, while his sharp razors did inflict full many a ghastly wound, until the Tees, as it ran past, a tempest-swollen flood, from Sockburn to the ocean, was polluted with its blood. And ever as the fearless knight cut its long body through, the severed part was seaward borne, ere it join anew, till swept away in fragments small, no portion did remain of that foul monster that had wrought fair Sockburn so much pain. Now often in fair Teesdale dale I've heard the legend old, by men related who believed the wondrous tale they told. And I have heard, more wondrous still, the worm conjoined again, and now the great sea serpent called frequents the southern main.